Dude, if you're like an OG Location Rebel subscriber, you might remember that I used to do videos when I was traveling. Well, I'm back in New York City, staying here at the beautiful Park Hyatt Hotel. This place is so fancy and awesome, and I love it. So I figured I'd do today's video old school style, shoot it on location, Location Rebel on location, New York City. Have you ever wanted to be a full-time content creator, but you just don't like people that much? You're kind of introverted, and you're not sure if you can actually build a business with content on the internet because you're just kind of shy. You just don't want to talk to people that much. How can you build a whole business that's all about putting yourself out there when all you want to do is kind of curl up in a corner most of the time? Well, I got news for you. Many of the most popular content creators online today are introverts, myself included. So today, I'm going to tell you exactly how to build a full-time sustainable business creating content on the internet when you're someone who just really appreciates their alone time. If that sounds like you, keep watching. I think you're gonna find today's video super valuable. Okay, first thing you need to do is you need to leverage your strengths. Don't try and be someone that you're not. As an introvert, there's a good chance you're a pretty analytical person. You might be an organized person. You might be a really good writer. You might be really good at planning things. You might be really creative. Take stock of all of those skills, all of those things you excel at, and actually call attention to them. Write a list of all of those skills you excel at, and as you are thinking about your business, make sure you are building it around those things you are really good at. You don't necessarily have to focus on a bunch of things you hate or you're scared of or are uncomfortable. Granted, anytime you're putting yourself out on the internet for the first time, it can be a little uncomfortable, so you're gonna need to push your comfort zone a little bit, but you wanna leverage the things that make you special and the skills that you have that other people do not. So take stock of what those skills are, and as we're going through the rest of this video and the rest of these tips, keep those in mind because those are what you are going to wanna keep coming back to leverage. Number two is you're gonna wanna choose comfortable formats. So for instance, you might think if you are a YouTuber, it's a very outgoing thing and you have to be around people all the time. Well, right now, it's me by myself in an empty hotel room. So yes, while I've shot hundreds of videos and I've learned how to talk like I'm super outgoing and super extroverted, 90% of what I do is just me here by myself. Shooting a video in front of a camera, editing at a computer by myself, hitting publish while I'm by myself, responding to comments, still pretty anonymously. So even if video is not your thing, are you a writer? Are you an artist? Podcasting may or may not be a good fit depending on the format. If you're doing an interview format, that's probably going to drain you, probably not the most introvert friendly. But if you're doing a podcast where it's just you talking or just you reading your blog posts or reading your writing, that still can be something you can excel at if that's something that you feel compelled to do. But think about the medium that you enjoy most and you excel at the most because you don't have to do everything. You don't have to be on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and a blog. Pick like two things. For me, it's a blog and YouTube. So find the thing that works for you, lean into that, and don't worry about all the rest as you're getting going. Number three is being honest about your schedule and batching content creation. If you're an introverted person, often you can feel overwhelmed or you can feel drained. So be honest with yourself about the times of day, the times of week, where you do feel most energized and you feel like you can put out your best work. Block off your calendar, schedule it, treat it like a real job, like an appointment you cannot miss, and make that your creative time to create. This is especially important as you're getting going. It's especially important if you have a day job, because if you aren't really thoughtful about when your most creative times are and you don't schedule it in, eventually it's just gonna keep getting pushed to the side. And it's like, you're never gonna get there. It's never gonna be the priority. You have to make this a priority, treat it like a job, put it on the calendar, and make these appointments that you cannot miss. And if you do that, say you're shooting video, you shoot 2 or 3 videos all at once, or you're a writer, you write 2 or 3 blog post drafts all at once, or you're an artist or a photographer, you edit all of your photos all at once. You can then go in and batch your publishing too. So you set everything up so that it's going to publish on the days that you want, so that you're not having to constantly interact with it, and you do the work at the time when you're feeling most creative and most fulfilled. By setting this up and putting it on the calendar, it helps you avoid overthinking things, which we all know as introverts is something we're really good at. I'm sitting here in this hotel room. Carnegie Hall is right there. Central Park is right there. It's somewhere around here. I feel like I need to go finish this up so I can enjoy the city. But before I do anything, we need some coffee. Number 4, use tools and technology. We are in an era where there are tools that can help you do everything. Like I was just talking about with batching your publishing. There are all sorts of tools out there that can help you with the editing, the scheduling, the publishing, all of that stuff. So don't try and reinvent the wheel. Don't feel like you have to do everything on your own. Do the research for the things you need, figure out what tools work for you, learn those tools and lean into them heavily, because that's going to allow you to rely more on yourself rather than building a team or hiring external people. There's a lot that technology can do that's going to save you both time and money. Also, kind of along those lines, is I would recommend finding templates for the content you want to create. Again, this goes back to not reinventing the wheel. Sometimes you sit down at a blank page and you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to write about. There are all kinds of resources out there for templates for instance, blog posts that convert, blog posts that can capture attention. Use a tool like ChatGPT to have a conversation with the AI that's going to give you ideas for what those might look like. So for instance, I could give you a bunch of templates for the blog posts I've found that work best over the years. You know, list posts, how-to posts, best of posts, personal posts, different headlines that work. But honestly, you can go to ChatGPT right now, just ask it what those might be, give it a little bit of information around you. And despite whatever your thoughts are on AI, for an introvert who doesn't always like interacting with real people, it's kind of nice. So a big thing that I found is to focus on quality over quantity. And sometimes you can have both of those things, but what I found with a lot of more extroverted creators is they can just put themselves out there all the time. They can get into this mode where it's like they're constantly here. They can just put out a whole bunch of content. But if you're more introverted, sometimes getting into that content creation mode can be more challenging. So rather than trying to overwhelm people with the sheer quantity you're putting out, really be thoughtful about the quality and who your audience is, and really take the time to figure out what is your niche. I talk about the niche within a niche method. So for instance, my other business is within golf. So golf is an industry. Golf technology is a niche. Golf rangefinders is a niche within a niche. And so I would find one thing that you can kind of specialize in and go really hard, really high quality first, specialize in that, and then you can branch out from there. But by focusing on creating the best work and then being strategic about how you promote that work, you're gonna set yourself up for success, and you're gonna start turning a lot of heads in your chosen industry. Engage with people on your terms. The idea of getting into, say, a live chat or live streaming video where you have to respond immediately can be super overwhelming, not even just for introverts, but for anyone who hasn't done a whole lot of stuff on the internet. So especially as you're starting out, engage on your terms. Maybe all you do is respond to emails, or maybe you respond to blog comments or YouTube comments. But having that asynchronous communication allows you to be really thoughtful about what you say, to put time and effort into it, to do as much or as little as you want, while still providing value to the people that are consuming your content. So don't think you have to go and do a video live stream or a live podcast right away, because that's super overwhelming. I've been a professional content creator for 15 years, and I think I've done that like 3 times. So figure out how you like to communicate with your audience, how you like to respond, and build your systems around that. And finally, make time for self-care and reflection. As you are growing your business, think about, how am I feeling right now? How is this working? What do I like? What do I don't? What are my hangups? Am I creating on the regular schedule that I was hoping to? Take time, reflect, pause, figure out what's working, what's not, be honest with yourself, because even if you're overwhelmed, even if you're not sure if this is going to work, even if you think, well, all these other people can do it, but I never will, take time, reflect, assess what's working, assess what's not, make changes as necessary, and be resilient. If you can be consistent and persistent over the first few months where it's particularly hard to get traction, then you're already half the way there. The first few months, the first year, that is the most challenging time. And that's when most people get over the honeymoon phase, they hit a few roadblocks, they give up, and they quit. And if you can push past that, you will be in the 1% of people that do, and you will be setting yourself up for a long, healthy career as a content creator, despite the fact you just like your alone time. With that, my name's Sean Ogle. I'm the founder of this thing here at Location Rebel, where we teach you how to make money on the internet with your words. If you got some value out of this, hit subscribe. I would love to share more videos like this with you. And if you would like to build a sustainable freelance writing business, then click our link below. I've got a free 6-day course and our free freelance writer's guide. It will walk you through everything you need to know to build a successful writing business online, even if you're an introvert. So with that, I hope you have an excellent day, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.